Continue with Sri Chaitanya-charitamrta. Tasmai Shri Guruve Rasa Vrindavanam Vande Krishna Rasa Gurunatata Chanavatar Chaitanya Lila Vistar Karna Do Nityananda Parabja Karunarena Bhushito Vyakta Achano Budachincho Vavande Vyasadupino Shri Guru Gaur Gandharva Govindas Chaganaisaha Jayanti Patakascha Sarvesham Karunardina. So yesterday, you weren't here yesterday, right? You remember the pastime of Ramchandra Puri, one of the disciples of Madhavendra Puri, and he was very offensive to his Gurudev, to Madhavendra Puri. Then later, when he came to Puri, he was very offensive to Mahaprabhu as well, and criticizing Mahaprabhu for eating too much prasadam, and then when Mahaprabhu reduces his intake of prasadam, then he criticizes Mahaprabhu for artificial renunciation. Like this, very offensive. And Mahaprabhu, because Ramchandra Puri is the god brother of his Gurudev, then he's treating him like a guru, and so he's respecting what he's his criticism. And all the devotees, they are very distressed to see this treatment of Mahaprabhu. Thank you. Anyhow, we discussed a lot yesterday, many important instructions in that pastime about avoiding the critical mentality, avoiding the critical mentality in our dealings with the Vaishnavas. And also, these are like the two main teachings we find. Avoiding the critical mood, and also Mahaprabhu's example, how he responds to that in such an exemplary way, in such a humble way. That is also very instructive for us. Okay, so now we're going to move on to the next chapter. So we're on chapter 9 of the Antya Lila. The Deliverance of Gopinath Pattanyaka. Okay. Aganya danya chaitanya gananam prema vanyaya ninye danya jana swanta madhu shashvad anupatam. The innumerable glorious followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought a constant flood to the desert-like hearts of the unfortunate with an inundation of ecstatic love. This analogy is very nice. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he also gives this analogy of the heart being like a desert in the last song of Sharanagati, that Krishna Nam Dore Kotobo, how much power is in the name of Krishna. And he describes, those verses are very important for us, and our gurus have quoted many times that he compares his heart to a desert. And Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he also, maybe it's in Search of Shri Krishna, he gives a very nice, beautiful explanation of that song. And so Srila Sridhar Maharaj elaborates on this analogy, why is this heart like a desert? It is burning with the multitude of death-producing desires that are coming from my heart. We are full of these death-producing desires which are not going to take us anywhere, desires which are binding us more and more in this world of mortality, because they are all pertaining to this mortal body, this mortal temporary world. They are the desires of body, mind, senses, all of these, outer layers. They are not pertaining to the eternal welfare of our soul. They are just taking us deeper into the world of death. So he calls them death-producing desires. So our heart is burning in the heat of that, like a desert burning under the heat of the sun. So our heart is burning in the heat of these desires. But then, so then the song describes, but somehow, the nectar of Krishna Nam, first entered my ear, from the mouth of a pure Vaishnava, that entered my ear, received the name, from a Vaishnava, entered my ear, reached the plane of my heart, and, maybe, and this is something that will vary person to person, how long the name will remain in a dormant state. May take lifetimes for one. It may, in rare cases, be one lifetime or less, depending on grace and depending on one's own eagerness, one's own degree of surrender to that. So we'll remain there, Gurudev said in one occasion, the sleeping position. The name will remain there in our heart in a sleeping position. And so Gurudev, he would speak of making our hearts fertile, making our hearts a suitable environment where that name can feel, oh, I feel very comfortable, and then in Gurudev's words, the name will feel, oh, here is my dancing stage. That was how Gurudev said it. Here is my dancing stage. And then, from the heart, forcefully to the tongue. This is an important point. Hridaya hoite bale, jivar grete chale, sabda rupe nache, anukam. That forcefully from the heart to the tongue. So this is completely anti-Sahajayism. Not from the tongue to the heart, not that by our mundane vibration of that name, by the vibration of our tongue, we can produce some spiritual substance, some spiritual feeling, but just the opposite. It is not by some physical exertion or some physical, counting of the name that the real name will manifest. But first there has to be that proper consciousness, that proper heart feeling. Then the name will be attracted. And then he himself will manifest. He will dance on our tongue. And then, rather than us chanting the name, as if the name were an object to us, that name will chant us. That name is super subjective to our existence. We are objects before that name. So anyhow, a little bit of a diversion, but this analogy is very nice. Our heart is like a desert. And of course, what complicates things is that we may not realize it's a desert because we're chasing after many mirages. we see many oases. Oh, here's something over here. Oh, here's something over here. And we get excited about that. Oh, now there's some water here. And then we get there. Oh, no, there's nothing. Oh, but there's something over here. And then, oh, no, there's nothing. So Mahaprabhu, our Guru Varga, they are distributing the real oasis. They're giving entrance to the real oasis, to the real taste, real joy. The innumerable glorious followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu brought a constant flood to the desert-like hearts of the unfortunate with an inundation of ecstatic love. Jaya Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Doyamoy, Jaya Jaya Nityananda Karuna Hridoy. All glories to Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the most merciful avatar. All glories to Lord Nityananda, whose heart is always compassionate. Jaya Dvaita Charja, Jaya Jaya Doyamoy, Jaya Gaur Bhaktagan Savra Samoy. All glories to Advaita Charja, who is very merciful. All glories to the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who are always overwhelmed by transcendental bliss. Hemata Mahaprabhu Bhaktagana Sange, Nila Chole Vaskoden Krishna Premarange. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu lived at Nilachal, Jagannath Puri, with his personal devotees, always merged in ecstatic love for Krishna. Antare Bahire Krishna Viraha Taranga, Nana Bhave Vyaku Prabhur Manaharanga. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu always felt waves of separation from Krishna, externally and internally. His mind and body were agitated by various spiritual transformations. So of course we are in the Antya Lila now, and so Mahaprabhu is in his final period, the final period of his pastimes. And so he is, in this period, he is entering this internal mood. For, that internal reason for which he came, Shriradhaya Pranaya Mahima Kijusho Vanayaiva, what we're told in the early verses of Chaitanya-charitamrta. Now Mahaprabhu, this is his internal, this is like his main reason, his primary reason. Rescuing the fallen souls, that is like secondary. Of course, for the Yuga avatar, that is primary, but for Swayam Bhagavan Mahaprabhu, this is primary. To taste that internal mood of love and separation that is only known to Srimati Radharani. Nine Nitya Kirtan Jagannath Darashan Rachiye Rai Swarup Sane Rasa Swadam. During the day he chanted, danced, and saw Lord Jagannath in the temple. At night he tasted transcendental bliss in the company of Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar. So these, of course, are his main companions at this time in his final years, Ramananda Rai and Swarup Damodar. Shri Jagater Lokasi Korendarashan Jede Se Pai Krishna Premadam. People from the three worlds used to come visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Anyone who saw him received the transcendental treasure of love for Krishna. Manushya Vishedeva Gandharva Kinar Saptapataler Jata Daitya Vishadar. The inhabitants of the 7 higher planetary systems, including the demigods, the Gandharvas and the Kanaras, and the inhabitants of the 7 lower planetary systems, Patalalok, including the demons and serpentine living entities, all visited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in the dress of human beings. 7 upper planets and 7 lower planets. Residents of all, they came to visit Mahaprabhu. This is called universal appeal. What he has is considered valuable by all persons of all planes of life. Who is valuable for persons of all planes of life. Whether or not they are aware of that, that depends on their own fortune. But such is the gift of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. It is relevant, it is valuable, it is beneficial to all persons, all living entities, all planes of life, past, present, future. There is no caste, no creed, no criterion, no local, provincial, finite, but it It is the most universal, the most absolute. So those who are fortunate, they realize that, and they may come from all corners. Saptadvipe Navakande Vaise Jata Jam Nanaveshe Asikore Prabhurdadasham. Dressed in different ways, people from the 7 islands and 9 khandas visited Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Pralad Balivyas Shuk Adi Munigan Asi Prabhu Deki Preme Hoya Chaitan. Prahlad Maharaj, Bali Maharaj, Vyasadev, Shukadev Goswami, and other great sages came to visit Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Upon seeing him, they became unconscious in ecstatic love for Krishna. Bahire Pukare Lok Darshana Paya Krishna Koho Bolim Prabhu Bahire Asiya. Being unable to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the populace outside his room would make a tumultuous sound. Thus, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go outside and tell them, chant Hare Krishna. So there are huge crowds coming to see him. Prabhu Darshane Sob, Prabhu Darshane Sob, Lok Prema Base. Prabhu Darshane Sob, Lok Prema Base, Mata Jai Prabhu Raji Divase. All kinds of people would come to see the Lord, and upon seeing him, they would be overwhelmed with ecstatic love for Krishna. And this is mentioned in many times in Chaitanya-charitamrta, also a few verses earlier, that just by seeing Mahaprabhu, persons would be overcome by praying. Srila Gurudev, he said that because Mahaprabhu's potency was so great, because the thing is, it is the natural tendency of the soul. The only thing that obstructs us, once we come to take up the path, is offenses. And of course, you can say, but how can you be sure I'm making offenses? I'm trying so hard, but we can actually avoid almost all the offenses, but the 10th offense is impossible. In the beginning, it is impossible. That is very difficult. The other offenses, if we're very careful, we can avoid Vaishnava aparad, we can avoid Guru aparad, we can avoid Shastra aparad. We can avoid these 9 offenses if we're very careful. But the 10th offense, it is impossible. You cannot immediately. It will take some time. And how long, as I mentioned before, that will vary person to person. That attachment, or intoxication, you can say, with the spirit of enjoyment, that we cannot give up immediately. And so many layers of misunderstanding, misconception, false identification. It's like this hard crust covering the soul. That will need some time, to loosen up. It's like if you have some dirty pots, and if you clean them right away, it's okay. But if you leave it overnight, and the next morning you have this thick crust there, and you can't clean it right away. You have to let it soak for some time, and then let it soften up, then you can clean it. So we have that, these crusts that have been sitting, covering us since time immemorial. It's not going to happen overnight. There's going to have to be some softening process. You might have to put some, you've got to soak it in something, and maybe you'll have some products you have to put on it to make the process happen more quickly. So, those things are sadhu sangha, Harinam Vaishnav Seva. But what Srila Gurudev said is that Mahaprabhu's potency was so great that persons did not have a chance to make offense. That ray was so fine. Srila Sridhar Maharaj also said that when he was talking about the Jarikanda forest pastime, when Mahaprabhu awakens the bears and the tigers and the deer, in chanting Harinam, that Mahaprabhu's potency was so fine, it went straight to pierce through all of these outer layers, went to the soul plane. So Mahaprabhu could just look at somebody, and that was it. They would awaken in Krishna prema.
Ek din lokase prabhude nivedilo, Gopinath tere bodo janna, change charailo.
One day, people suddenly came to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and informed him, Gopinath Pattanyaka, the son of Bhavananda Rai, and this is the brother of, Ramananda Rai, of course, has been condemned to death by the Bodhojana, the eldest son of the king, and has been raised on the Changa. And the Changa, it's a form of capital punishment. It sounds very horrible. It consisted of a raised platform on which the condemned was made to stand. Underneath the platform there were stationary upright swords. The condemned man would be pushed down onto the swords, and in this way he would die. Oh, it's a very horrible way to die. So the prince, he has issued this punishment for Gopinath Pattanyaka.
Tole kadga patti tare upare daribe, prabhuraka korenjabe tobe nishtaribe.
The Bodhojana has placed swords beneath the platform, they said, and will throw Gopinath upon them. O Lord, only if you protect him will he be saved. And, it's already saying, it's in the next verse.
Savam she tomar sevak Bhavananda Rai, tar pucha tomar sevak ke rakite jujai.
Bhavananda Rai and his entire family are your servants. Therefore, it is quite fitting for you to save the son of Bhavananda Rai. So this whole family, they are dear to Mahaprabhu. And so they're thinking, therefore Mahaprabhu, he will be compelled to try to intervene with this.
Prabhu kohe raja kene koroye tadan tobe se loko he sabhivaram.
Mahaprabhu inquired, why is the king chastising him? Thereupon the people describes the entire incident.
Gopinath Pattanyaka Ramananda Bai, Sarvakal hoite ho Raja Vishoyi.
They said Gopinath Pattanyaka, the brother of Ramananda Rai, has always been a treasurer for the government. So they're like pulling on Mahaprabhu's heartstrings. They refer to him here as Ramananda's brother. Because Ramananda Rai, he's one of, as we just mentioned, he's one of Mahaprabhu's most intimate associates. So he's referring to him in that way.
Malajatya dandapatte taradikar, sadi padihani dravya dilo rajadvar.
He served in the place known as Malajatya Dandapat, soliciting and collecting money there, and depositing it in the government treasury.
Duilaka kahantar taibaki hoilo, Duilaka kahan kodi rajato magilo.
Once, when he deposited the collection, however, a balance of 200,000 kahanas of conch shells was due from him. Therefore, the king demanded this sum.
Tehoko estula dravya nahi je goni dibo, rame krame vechi kini dravya boribo.
Gopinath Pattanyaka replied, "There is no money I can immediately give you in cash. Please give me time. Gradually I shall purchase and sell my gross goods, and in this way fill your treasury." So means this money which he collected for the government, the royal treasury, he's used it himself, and now they're coming saying, "Can we take that money?" "Oh, yes, I'll get it to you soon. I just have to sell a few things." So this is happening today, and it's been going on forever. This corruption. There are 10 to 12 good horses. Take them immediately for a proper price. After saying this, he brought all the horses to the door of the king.
Ekaraja pucha godar mulya balo jane, tade patailo raja pacha mitra sane.
One of the princes knew how to estimate the price of horses very well. Thus the king sent for him to come with his ministers and friends.
Se raja pucha mulya kore gataya, Gopinath krodhoila mulya shuniya.
The prince, however, purposely gave a reduced estimate for the value of the horses. When Gopinath Pattanyaka heard the price quoted, he was very angry.
Se Rajaputra swabha viva firai, ordva muke barbar iti utichai.
That prince had a personal idiosyncrasy of turning his neck and facing the sky, looking here and there, again and again. of idiosyncrasy, a personal, it means like somebody has a funny habit that they have. Like people have, maybe they have a habit whenever they're talking, they'll do this, or like some funny thing they'll do, or they rub the floor, or I do these things too. You pick at something, or maybe you squint when you talk, or like some funny thing that you have, that we all have, these funny things that we do, Sometimes it's like a nervous habit or something, but we all have these, and often it's unconsciously we'll do these things. So the prince, he has this funny thing of always looking up at the sky and looking like this. So the Gopinath Pattanyaka made fun of him for this. Comedians are very good at this. They can imitate some public figure, and everybody will know who they're talking, who they're imitating, because it's so distinct. Srila Gurudev, he used to do that. I was just going through an interview I did with Brajamohini, and she mentioned one devotee, he used to stutter and had a stutter, when you're talking, and so whenever this Gurudev mentioned that devotee, then he would start stuttering. Then everyone would when he was talking about him, then Gurudev would start stuttering. And I also saw him another devotee who, because he had no teeth or something, and Gurudev would imitate this funny mouth movement that he had. Yeah, one of them, yes, So Gurudev was very funny like that. So, but this is a mistake. Gopinath Pattanyaka is doing this to somebody who really doesn't like him, you know, and he has power. So,
Tadininda kori kohe sagarva vachane, Raja kripa kore tata boena himane.
Gopinath Pattanyaka criticized the prince. He was unafraid of the prince because the king was very kind toward him. I see. He thinks he's in a safe position because he has a good relationship with the king. So he thinks, oh, this prince, he can't do anything. And this must be King Prataparudra, who is, holds Mahaprabhu in the highest position. What's that?
That's in Orissa.
Yes, this is in Orissa, yes, because this is the family of Bhavananda Rai, and they're originally from Orissa. So, of course, the King Prataparudra, he considers himself a humble, aspiring servant of Mahaprabhu, and that whoever is connected with Mahaprabhu, they are dear to him. And so this whole family, they're like, close to Mahaprabhu. And so Gopinath Pattanyaka, he's thinking, I'm in good standing with the king, we have a good relationship. This prince, he can't do anything to me. So he's a little careless.
Amar goda grivana firai urdvena hichai, tate godarmul. Tate godarmul yagati koditena jujai.
Gopinath Pattanyaka said, my horses never turn their necks or look upward. This is what he does. My horses never do this. Therefore, the price for them should not be reduced.
Shuni Raja Putra Mane Kroda Upajilo, Raja Tai Jai Bahu Lagani Korilo.
Hearing this criticism, the prince became very angry. Going before the king, he made some false allegations against Gopinath Pattanyaka.
Kodinahi dibe vedai chadma kodi, agya deho jadi change charaya loy kodi.
This Gopinath Pattanyaka, he said, is unwilling to pay the money due. Instead, he is squandering it under some pretext. If you issue an order, I can put him on the changa and thus realize the money.
Raja bole jay balo se koro jai, jay upai kori pai koro se upai.
The king replied, you can adopt whatever means you think best. Any device by which you can somehow or other realize the money is all right. So he's saying, the king's just like trusting him. Whatever you think is best. If you can get the money some way or another, you do that. He's not like thinking so deeply. He's not saying, no, don't put him on the changa. He's just, whatever, I trust you, whatever you think is best. But unfortunately, this prince, has a vindictive nature.
Rajaputra sitare change charailo, kadagu pade pelaite tole kadag patilo.
Thus the prince went back, raised Gopinath Pattanyaka onto the platform of the changa, and spread swords below upon which to throw him.
Shuni Prabhu koi kichu kori pranoi dosh, Raja kori ditenade Raja ki badosh.
After hearing this explanation, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu replied with affectionate anger, Gopinath Pattanyaka does not want to pay the king the money that is due, the Lord said. How then is the king at fault in punishing him?
Raja vilat sadikai nahi raja boy, dadi natu jade diya kore nana vyay.
Gopinath Pattanyaka is in charge of collecting money on behalf of the government, but he misappropriates it. So he's collecting money for the government, but he's spending it for something else. So he's responsible. Not fearing the king, he squanders it to see dancing girls. And I think this is, I really appreciate this, because Mahaprabhu's, they're appealing to Mahaprabhu, these devotees or whoever it is, they're appealing to Mahaprabhu like on the basis of like personal connection. Like, Mahaprabhu has a personal relationship with that family, and so they're saying like, can you pull some strings and get him out of this sticky situation? But Mahaprabhu's, he's like not responding to that. Yes, he's responding in an impartial way. Like, he did wrong. He's responsible for that. He needs to pay the price for that.
Jai Chattar se Kuruk Raja Vishoy Raja Javya Shodipai Tar Kadupyai.
If one is intelligent, let him perform service to the government, and after paying the government, he can spend whatever money is left.
Hinokare arlo kailo daya vani natadi sabam sheloya gelo bandia.
And another point is, this is all like, in a sense, this is a very superficial thing. What is happening on the bodily platform. They're asking for like the physical, material welfare of this person. It's not, pertaining to the, eternal necessity of our intrinsic self. That is a different area. And actually, at the very end, as I recall, Gopinath Pattanyaka, he makes a very beautiful statement where he's saying like, the Lord saving my life, because in the end, Mahaprabhu, I'm spoiling it now, but Mahaprabhu, he I don't remember if he directly or indirectly, but anyhow, his life is saved. But Gopinath Pattanyaka has some expression like, this is not Mahaprabhu's real mercy on me, that he has saved my life. He has some change of heart, and he has this realization. Like, this isn't, where is it? Yes, and he says, your real mercy has been granted to Ramananda Rai and Vaninath Rai, his brothers. For you have detached them from all material opulence. I think that I have not been favored by such mercy. Kindly bestow upon me your pure mercy. So he uses the Shuddha Kripa. Shuddha Kripa Koro. Shuddha, pure. Please give me your pure mercy. And then, of course, we're reminded of Sriyukta Damodar's famous verse that Helo Dunita Kedaya Vishadaya Pranmila Namodaya Shashvat Bhakti Vinodaya. I can't remember. But he's glorifying the effects of Mahaprabhu's mercy. And then at the very last line, he refers to his mercy as a mando doya doya. Mercy which gives rise to non-badness. Or sometimes it's rendered non-evil producing mercy. So it means there's many different kinds of mercy, but some of them, they have some side effects, or they're pertaining to this temporary mortal world. But this mercy that Mahaprabhu is giving, there's nothing bad in it. No, it is pure goodness, and it is pertaining to the welfare of our intrinsic eternal self. So that is the type of mercy that we want. And that is what distinguishes us from many other paths. many other schools of thought within the Vedic arena and outside also. So we can also think for that reason Mahaprabhu is also a little indifferent to this matter. Okay. So if one is intelligent, let him perform service to the government, and after paying the government, he can spend whatever money is left. At that time, another person came there in great haste, bringing the news that Vaninath Rai and his entire family had been arrested. Prabhu kohe raja pane lekar javya loibo, ami virakta sannyasi tahe ki koribo. Mahaprabhu said, the king must personally realize the money that is due. I am but a sannyasi, a member of the renounced order. What can I do? Why are you involving me with this? I'm a sannyasi. I'm supposed to be, detached from these worldly affairs. Like, don't involve me with these matters. And Srila Gurudev also, of course, now in this day and age, things are a little different in terms of, behavior of those in the renounced order. In those times, it was very strict, The expected behavior of a sannyasi was very strict. And Mahaprabhu followed all those things very seriously. Nowadays, of course, according to the, time, place, circumstance, things change, Mahaprabhu followed that at that time because that was expected by society. Nobody would respect him if he didn't. But now, we have persons like Srila Vadut Maharaj who are employing, everything in the service of the Lord. And then all of our leaders to one, to some extent or another. But still, we saw that Srila Gurudev, I heard him make that comment, like, this is not proper for a sannyasi. Like, there were at least 2 occasions I know of where 2 of his sannyasis, there was some issue that, you're like, because, you're like a leader. One was Srila Charjamaj, one was Srila Ashramaj. It's natural if you're leading a temple, you have to deal with management, and so many different issues come to you. And so in 2 different occasions, in both of these cases, there was some issue that came to them, that was concerning a relationship between a man and a woman, who was like under them, in their jurisdiction, and some trouble. And they had to deal with it, or they felt like that. But in both these cases, Srila Gurudev, he told them, you're a sannyasi, don't get involved with this. It's not proper for a sannyasi to get involved in this. Also, anyhow, that's a good example, I think. So, there's some, according to our, the other example that came to mind was Srila Charjamaj. He told how Gurudev observed a brahmachari holding a baby on their lap, and Gurudev didn't like that. They're brahmachari, they shouldn't show such closeness with the, like a playing with a child, it doesn't look proper. So, we should have some consciousness about, what is the role that we're playing in society, and what is the proper behavior that is expected of me, so that we can keep up the dignity of our mission. To a certain extent, this is eyewash, but we need that, in this, that is how we are following. We are following some formalities. But Gurudev wouldn't go overboard. Srila Janardhan Maharaj, he told how he would go very rarely, he would go to visit his mother to keep her peaceful. And then one sannyasi told him once, how can you do that? You're a sannyasi, you're going to visit your mother. And so then Janardhan Maharaj went and asked Gurudev about it. And Srila Gurudev said, I know that you don't have any attachment to your mother. I know that. You're going as a matter of duty, not like you're a son who needs to be with your mother. I know it's not like that, so it is okay. But he did say, maybe it was that time or on another occasion, I don't remember. How can you, don't let her cook for you or something like that. He didn't think that was appropriate. Then Janardhan, he said they had this funny thing once, because he told her that, and they had this funny thing once. So she put something in the microwave for him, and then he came and turned it on. He came and turned the on button. She prepared to put it in the microwave, and then I'll turn it on.
Yes, I heard he said once, I have affection but not attachment.
Perfect, that's beautiful. Perfect. Affection but not attachment. Very nice. Okay, I need a little bit more. Oh, it's almost 8. Just read a few more verses. So, then all the devotees headed by Sri Damodar Goswami fell at the lotus feet of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and submitted the following plea.
Ramananda Raya Goshti Sab Tomar Das, Tomar Chit Nahe Aichanu Das.
All the members of Ramananda Rai's family are your eternal servants. Now they are in danger. It is not befitting for you to be indifferent to them in this way.
Shuni Mahaprabhu kohe sakroda vachane more agya deo sobe jai rajastane.
After hearing this, Mahaprabhu spoke in an angry mood. You want to order me to go to the king, he said.
Toma sabai mata rajatai jaya kodi magi laumui anchal patiya.
Your opinion is that I should go to the king's palace and spread my cloth to beg money from him.
Pancha gandhar pacha hoy sanyasi brahmam magileva kenedibe duilaka kaham.
Of course, a sannyasi or Brahmin may beg for up to 5 gandas. But why should he be granted the inappropriate sum of 200,000 kahanas of conch shells? So they think they're going to soften Mahaprabhu, but he's getting more angry. And he's making it sound more extreme. You want me to personally go and beg from the king for this money? What are you asking me for?
Enokale arolo gailo daya kare garu pare Gopinath cheche nariya.
Then another person came with the news that Gopinath had already been set up to be thrown upon the points of the swords.
Shuni Prabhu gan Prabhu de kore anu noi Prabhu kahe ami bhikkhu kama hoite kichu noi.
Hearing this news, all the devotees again appealed to the Lord, but the Lord replied, I am a beggar. It is impossible for me to do anything about this.
Tateraka kurite jadi hoy sabar mone, sobe meli janaho jaganate charane.
Therefore, if you want to save him, you should all pray together at the lotus feet of Jagannath.
Ishva Jagannath jar hatte sarvarta, kartuma kartamanyata kodite samarta.
Lord Jagannath is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He possesses all potencies. Therefore, he is able to act freely and can do and undo whatever he likes. Okay, I think maybe I'm going to stop there. I think it's a good place to stop. So we'll find out tomorrow what happens. Jai Shri Chaitanya-charitamrta ki Jai, Shri Krishna's Kaviraj Goswami Jai, Gurudev Jai. You ready to sing, Prabhu?
Yes. Hare Nama Krishna Yadavaya Namaha.
Hare Hare Nama